ocean like you wanna get wet. And in the distance I can hear the church bells. I see you kneeling in a pew. You look at me like you think I'm holy, but you'll learn soon that I'm just like you.
Yeah, that's me in there somewhere. Still too early. The first alarm is just a warning. Night is over, the day's about to start. It gives me another 10 minutes. I'm not a morning person, so I can't just jump up to the alarm. This is my chance just to drift back for a bit. This is the one. This gets me up. I wake up in stages. I face the world more accurately in stages, as you'll see. First stage, shower time. Hot water rushing over, almost like washing off that cognitive fog. Kind of radiate heat when you come out. That's probably the biggest step that brings me out. I haven't mentioned yet, I'm an instructor at a regional university. I teach psychology. I usually dress pretty casual, so I don't really dress up, except Fridays. Fridays are bow tie Fridays. I always dress up on Friday. But today's not a Friday. Typical stuff. Untucked shirt. Jeans are frequent. Here's the point where I do part of my work. Now it's time to bring up what I'm going to be covering in class today. Make sure my head is primed up with what I want to cover. Automatic coffee pot is one of the miracles of the modern age. It's waiting for you when you wake up. Some days it's coffee, some days it's tea. Lately it's been coffee.
I'm not a morning person, takes time to start my day. A cup of tea sometime for me helps me on my way. In the dark I do my work, it feels like I have time, but the company Casting shadow as the days first lie, the clock goes speeding by. I want to lie down, slip back into dreams. They were heavy in my mind, but outside the sky is growing bright. I'm running out of time. Tasks to do, an image to keep, responsibility never sleeps. I'm not a morning person.
That's phase 2. Get my son up. He's in elementary school. This is where I actually start to feel some of the time pressure, the deadline's coming up. Get his lunch ready, get breakfast ready. The clock is ticking. There's a bunch of little tasks now between right now and when I first step in front of that class. Breakfast this morning, waffles for him, a banana and a little tub of yogurt for me. Neither of us like eating when we first wake up. Both of us have to kind of choke it down. And then the time pressure escalates. We got a narrow window here. Get him to school in time, get me to campus on time. I'm a lucky dad. He doesn't like school like a lot of kids, but he's never a problem in the morning. Does what he has to do. Never complains. Well, he does complain. He just doesn't fight it. Most days I walk him in. Stand and watch while he heads down the hallway to class. Someday he won't want me doing that, so I enjoy still being able to do that. Fast forward to arriving at campus. You don't need to see the drive. Usually I park down in one of the neighborhoods and walk up. Free parking. This quarter, though, middle of the day, I have a class at the community college, so I have to be able to jet quick. This is another stage. Get my head together. Put on some music for the walk.
I used to cower to your room, try to set my world aside. For your modern world, out till I die. I used to listen to your room, expectations set me high. You're the judge and jury inside my mind. Rules and tests you're teaching. Rules and walls so reaching. I finally vanished from your world, stepped outside to find my way. My destiny, read what I say. The life you tried to make me live, not a life for everyone. You choose your own way to live on the run. Forwards and dreams approaching. Ocean so with my own teaching.
During most quarters, I get a break in between the group of classes somewhere where I stick my office hour. This quarter's weird. Once classes start, I don't get a break till the end of the day. So I try to do some office time ahead of time. Usually the problem with office hour though is nothing happens, so I start to kind of energy down. Have to avoid that. This is a time to answer emails, take another look at my slides, run stuff through my head to make sure I'm at where I need to be for what I'm going to cover today. My office has, it's kind of known for having bizarre decorations, old equipment, ventriloquist dummies, strange dolls. Keeps people from hanging around. Yeah, I'll sit, stare out the window, daydream. So I guess while I relax here and space out looking at the view out my window, it's a good time to talk about how the introvert thing can fit into someone who's a college instructor, sometimes in front of classes of over 100 people, and not only enjoy it, but have a good time doing it. Introversion and extroversion, we think of them as just categorical buckets that people go in, but it's really a continuum like this. And if I were to take a bunch of individual traits that people have that fall under the parts of the spectrum and look at how many you display in different situations and how often you display them, you'll find that you cluster around a certain area on here, and that would kind of be your spot on the spectrum. But as you can see, it doesn't mean you're in that spot all the time with everything you do. So this scale doesn't predict individual behavior. It just would give you a general idea over time of trends. You can stretch along here. There's also the idea that introverts are just shy and don't like people, don't like being around people, and extroverts are just always looking to be around people. That may be true with some people, but it's not true most of the time. Introverts do go out when they feel like it, when they're in the mood for it. They're a little more selective, and there's a key reason why they're more selective. If you have an introvert and an extrovert out at a party, they may both be enjoying themselves equally. They may both look very extroverted. The difference is the introvert's battery is draining from having that fun. They're going to need time out of the social environment to recharge. The extrovert is likely getting their battery charged by that environment. So what I do, if you put a nail down kind of showing where I am on this scale, flip a rubber band over it, this is the area where I sit comfortably when I'm just on my own. But if I go out, or in this case, due to my job which I love, I stretch myself over to those more extroverted traits while I'm on campus, and especially while I'm in front of a class. Now, because I'm stretching it, that means I'm burning energy to do that. It doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. I'm enjoying it great. I have an awesome time doing it. But when it's over, that rubber band will start creeping back over toward the introvert side. Sometimes if you could see this process happening, you'd see it from the moment my last class is done to the moment I get to my car. You'd see this stretching back like that. So yeah, that's part of what works on me. I need to try to stop from daydreaming. I don't want to power down here. A student. Well, former student, not current student. That's Natalie. She took one of my classes her very first quarter at college. By the end of that quarter, me and my office kind of became a comfortable space to hang out and chat. She's a true introvert like me and has become a regular at our home. Sometimes she'll make us dinner. Her specialty is pasta. My son took to her right away. They become buddies. His first question after school, is Natalie coming over? They have a good time. She's really brought a lot of energy to our home environment. He even says he likes it better when she's there. They have fun. One of the things about Natalie that makes her different, makes her a comfortable person for an introvert to hang out with, and makes her different in almost every way, is her history. I knew about her even before she came to college. She was in the news. She's the girl who died twice. Twice in 2 years, she suffered heart failure and had to be resuscitated. She had to wear a heart monitor for several years. Dying once changes people, changes your outlook, makes you less prone to petty frustrations, gives you a different view of everything. Imagine what happens if you've died twice. You care more about living your life and less about what others think about it. She's the definition of old soul. And as you'll see, she's definitely had an impact on us. Her getting up and leaving pretty much means the clock is ticking. Class time's getting closer. It's one of those things where you're waiting for something, it seems to take forever to get there. This is it. This is my second home during the day. I feel the energy rise the minute I walk in that room. This is my 8th year doing this, and I'm still just as excited every day doing it as I was that first time. This is the moment everyone sees, and this is the moment everyone thinks of when they think of teaching. But this isn't the work. This is the end result of the work. This is the celebration of it. Teaching is much like an artistic performance. What you see on stage is just a sliver of the practice and rehearsal that went into it. I think I've learned more since I became a teacher than I ever did as a student. As a student, you know what you're supposed to learn. It's very targeted. As a teacher, you have to know a lot more than that, and you have to keep up on the new things that are going on. You don't get to leave your job in the office when you come home. I do get a little energetic sometimes. I think there's some people that think my classes are just parties all the time. Yeah, it's not really like that. I love the subject. The subject gets me excited, and I'm excited being able to bring this to students. But there are times I'll see cell phones pointing at me. I know there are subjects that sometimes get me a little excited. Might be biased, but I don't see how you can not be excited about psychology. I mean, it's the study of who we are and what we do and why we do it. How could you not be curious about that? Now today, I've got one class right after the other. I mean, the next one is right away, and it's the same subject. Tune out for a little bit, and off we go to the next one. Same thing again. This quarter, this is where it's weird. It's been about 7 years since I taught out at the community college. This year I'm teaching human sexuality out there, and it just happens to be sandwiched between my classes here. I've got 40 minutes from right now to be starting the next class. And in the other quarter, I'd have a little break right now between classes, maybe before my office hour. I'd head out to an isolated spot behind the buildings, away from foot traffic. Just kind of put on the music and tune out for a while, kind of a short recharge before going on with the rest of it. Usually think about whatever the next classes I have to do later, or reflect on what I just covered in the other ones. Just a quiet moment. Today's not one of those, though. The community college is about 15-20 miles from here. But when you talk about the time it takes to get from where I am right now and get to my car and get out of town and park and get to the next class, it can take 35 to 40 minutes to do all that, depending on traffic and parking. I'm a time pressure person, so I like to be places early. Now, the first couple of weeks of the quarter, this is really kind of anxiety-provoking, making sure I get there on time. But after a couple of weeks, it doesn't bother me as much. And in fact, the drive to and from the community college is kind of my break.
Take a moment when I find it. Even if it's short, I need a little bit. Hey, don't feel bad, it's just another work day. I'm not picky, I grab a chance to step away. On the clock, my break is on the drive. Any chance I get, I use it to get by. Hey, it's not that bad, it's just how I survive. Everyone has their thing to help them fly.
Smaller room, smaller crowd, but I like the subject.
Only about 19% of cultures in the world sexualize their girls, jumping up and down, ponies on top of people.
This is only 4 days a week. I get Friday off. But today's Tuesday, which means I have another class 40 minutes from right now. So now I reverse the rush. You'd think I'd be wearing down by this time. 4th class in a row, not much of a break, but my energy stays high no matter how many classes I do in a row or throughout the day. When I feel it is when the last one's over. Then I can feel that energy start to drain away and kind of release. Quick run back to the office. Still stuff to do, but this is the end of the workday part. This is when I pick something a little mellow, something a little moody to listen to on the walk to the car.
Phantom dreams, mystic scenes, dancing in the rain, not everyone believes. Nighttime breeze, moaning scenes, daytime shrinks away as autumn takes its leave. Light in my eyes, darkening skies, strawberry pies. Winter plays, darker days, coldness creeps inside my mind to find its way. Soothing rain, wash away the pain. Darkness hides me from what waits for me today. Light in my mind, memories rewind, fantasies archive.
Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays because of my late schedule. Vincent's waiting for me when I pick him up. Now the evening part of the day starts. Some mellowing out time when we get home, down in the music room. Vincent likes to play the keyboard. I like to just put on the headphones and listen to him. I've actually fallen asleep sometimes listening to him play. This is where Natalie's been a big influence on us. She kind of reinvigorated our interest in the music room. Music time and then dinner. Kind of a repeat of breakfast. Not the same food, of course. This is kind of one of the things that seals the day. Kind of officially creates that bridge between school and work daytime and evening time. Unfortunately, as a teacher, I don't get to just leave my work on campus when I leave there. I do a lot in the morning. I do a lot whenever I get a chance to get breaks during the day. And unfortunately, I have to do a lot in the evening, too. And this is where Natalie, again, has really helped out a lot and been a difference here. Her and Vincent have really become buddies, and they will play video games, do all sorts of different things while I work on school-related things.
I'm playing. Wait, I'm here for an important reason. Colon cancer screening.
Toad's getting screened for colon cancer? That's terrible.
Things are good now. They haven't always been. When I teach depression and anxiety, I teach it from experience. I know what it's like having your face pressed against the gates of hell like that. It's not like that anymore. The demons are still there, but they're leashed and caged. Anxiety will still sometimes escape the cage, such as waking to an alarm clock. That's why those first moments in the morning are hard. I need time to wrestle that anxiety demon back into its cage. But after that, the day's mostly good. Except phone calls. I still have a problem making phone calls. Otherwise, things are better.
moments to unwind and find relaxed, clear mind. Split time, work and play in the evening where we find time, our day arrives. Like a weekend or standing in the rain, a couple hours we're free, it's our domain. Sundown, the world has gone away and leave me free to be myself, just me. What to do, freedom and choices to just play the way I want to play. Like a weekend or standing in the rain, a couple hours we're free, it's our domain.
Force you bad layers.
Which brings us to bedtime, story time.
The facilitator.
Me and Vincent still share a room.
But decision
That's not going to last much longer, I'm pretty sure. He's going to want his own, so I enjoy the times we can just lay there and read.
For a moment, everyone stood in silence. broken
Sometimes he'll read.
snores.
Most of the time I'll read. The problem is when he reads, I'll lay there and relax and fall asleep.
After witnessing all the
So I do a
noise
lot of the
following
reading.
schism of VFD,
These are good
they
times.
did not see a way to avoid it.
Nice way to gear
They
down
said
towards
that they
sleep.
needed to make a choice, but choosing between living alone on a coastal shelf
And that, as it is pretty much one of my days.
did not feel like much of a choice at all. And they wondered how many other people had felt this way during the count. Even the baby should be able to cook something up, I once said.
The lights dim down, the sun is gone. Tasks are past, the day is done. Eyes feel heavy